Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up there and names, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
So for a lot of you who don't know, we're in a lot of financial trouble. You might not see it happening around you. And to be honest, only those in the middle class are really going to really feel the impacts of higher rates and higher inflation. So we've been in this inflationary period now for almost a year. Let's see, actually it's been more than a year. We're going on almost 2 years now with these high interest rates. Most people are not going to feel the effects. Those who are uber rich and those who are poor are not going to feel the effects. Anyone who is considered poor based on my standards, sorry to offend you. Anyone who's uber rich is probably not watching this video. And then those in the middle class or in the upper middle class, they understand exactly what I'm saying. So with that being said, we're at a point now where the Fed is not even going to really consider lowering rates, and they honestly shouldn't, right? The truth is that people aren't going to stop spending money no matter how expensive things get, and they're starting to realize that. Has interest rates come down? Absolutely. But because of gas prices shooting right back up to almost $4 and in $5 in some states like California, you're going to see higher inflation because of it. So gas is always going to really mess up in inflation numbers. And with wars happening all around us, that easily allows for gas prices to shoot up, with the notion that oil is just expensive. It's not like we stopped going to the gas pump because gas is more expensive. Or it just simply limits us from going out more, right? And those are the things that you have to think about. Like I always say, the thing that I hated the most is that my Wagyu steak went to the moon and back. Like that thing just shot up and is not coming back down ever again. And so I'm just disappointed that we used to get some nice Wagyu steak for like 40 bucks. You can get at least 2 or 3. Beautiful. I was like, why would you even go to the restaurants for it when you can make it at home? And for those of you who don't know, I made a lot of my money in the restaurant industry. So I was a general manager at Tim Hortons. I worked for, what's the other one? I worked at Dairy Queen. And I've also worked at Wendy's. And so I've been a general manager at all 3 of these locations. I love food. I'm a food connoisseur. I'm a foodie. I'm from New York City. And so I've always had this big passion for food. And learning how to make food at a young age, especially African dishes, Hispanic dishes, and American dishes are like one of the things that I'm just so accustomed to now because my doctor told me I should be on a Mediterranean diet. I have a 500-page book on Mediterranean food. So when it comes to cooking, I don't shy away from that. That's another useful skill, by the way, and it's going to help you save money in the long run. And so a lot of the things that I love to do are things that some people have to learn or be taught to do. And I think that that is what gives me an advantage. I'm not going to say it separates me apart, but you have to find those things that you like to do that financially also impact you in a positive way. So for example, I'll give you a few of my negative financial decisions that I always make is shopping online. So I'll go on Amazon and I'll buy certain types of food because it's also discounted. So for example, I always get my beans on Amazon. I get that 128 ounce bag of black beans because I can make my akara, I can make my boiled beans, whatever I need to make for my African dishes. I'll make my beans using that off of Amazon. It's like $28, super cheap for me. Love it. And I'll also get other ingredients that I don't want to look for in the store or is just hard to find. So for example, I went to a Mediterranean restaurant recently. It's called, let me shout them out. What is it called again? Dang, I can't even remember. It's my favorite Mediterranean spot too. They didn't have my red snapper that day, but it's called, can't remember. Anyway, they had this nice hummus, spicy black peas hummus. I'm like, I never had a spicy black peas hummus before. It was delicious, people, with the pita bread. So guess what? Am I going to go to the restaurant every single time and get it? Absolutely not. So I have to go and make it at home. But not to get off topic, it's not that I can't always go to the store. One, I don't want to travel to a restaurant every single day, especially one that's like 18 minutes away. Some of y'all are like, 18 minutes, that's nothing. But for me, I just rather chill in the house that I pay for. Like, it just makes sense, doesn't it? This is a beautiful home, and I like to stay in it. I mean, I'm paying for it, might as well be in it from time to time. And I actually like the fact that I'm spending more time in my house than I ever used to. And it's just amazing. It's an amazing feeling to be able to actually enjoy your home. A lot of people don't have that luxury these days. And, I'm grateful for it. So, with the high cost of inflation, why aren't the lower class going to feel it? Well, they're not going to feel it because basically all the stuff that they get will remain the same. Low cost items will remain the same. Ramen is not going to go up 20%. Now, I'm not saying that everybody eats ramen. We're not all college students these days, but some people just like ramen. My girlfriend loves ramen, so good news for her. Her ramen is not going to go up. Rice is not going to skyrocket. Dave Ramsey always uses the phrase beans and rice, rice and beans. These things will remain cheap, and for good reason. As a hobby, I started planting. To be honest, I spent almost $200. Actually, I spent more than that because I got like a small greenhouse outside. You probably saw it in one of my previous videos when I was outside. So I spent more than $200 to start the hobby of planting so that I can eventually save money on food. Like, nah, I didn't start planting to save money on food, but I only planted crops that grow food. Why was that? Because why not? Why not grow food? It just tastes better. And to be honest, that was the main reason, because I had green onions growing outside of in my backyard since I purchased the home, and the green onions grow every year. Even though I pull them out, put them in my fried rice, put it in my ramen noodles, put it on my eggs, and they just continue to grow back. And I'm just like, yo, these green onions taste so fresh, taste so amazing, and it grew naturally without me needing to do anything. What more can I ask for? So I love the green onions that grow in my backyard. I don't even need to plant green onions. I just know that they'll continue to come. So why would I plant what is already growing for free? And I absolutely love it, guys. I absolutely love it. So with that being said, just inflation is just ridiculous right now. The middle class is affected the most because what they have to deal with is food costs going up. The food that you would normally eat, whether it's chicken, fish, milk. If you have children, that's another cost. Now you're thinking about bigger homes with rates at 7%. You can't refinance at these rates. The car that you were driving was very expensive. You needed that car to get to work. You didn't want to be modest and get a hoopty or a decent car because you have children or because you have a family that you're managing. All these things start to add up. All these bills start to add up, and they create a cycle of it creates a state to where you really can't really do anything, to be honest with you. I mean, I was at a point just recently where I'm going to talk about this in my next video as well, but I was in a state recently where, with taxes and insurance, my bills really went up like a good $537. I actually did my budget like last week, because I promised you guys I would do my own budget. And I did a budget last week. I didn't realize that the property taxes and the insurance alone went up $537 starting next month. So starting in May, $537 for property taxes and insurance. That's kind of ridiculous. Now, again, this is on 2 properties, so it's not just one property. But still, that's a lot of money. Imagine someone having to shell out an additional $250 than they were before just a month later. That can be very, very crazy. That can be very scary, especially if it's not in the budget, especially if you're not getting a raise. There are many people getting laid off right now, and I'm going to also talk about that in another video. And so with the ability to not find, you don't have the ability to find work. They're all looking for a set of skills. They're all looking for you to do more than you've ever done before. And they're not giving you additional income. They're not giving you a raise. And the only jobs that are really going to be hiring, at least from what I see, are those who are very skilled, very experienced, and very eager and hungry to work, as well as those who are really, really in need. So, for example, the restaurant industry will always call my name. They will always call back for me. The sales industry will always call. They will always want you. Why is that? Because you eat what you kill. So if you don't kill nothing, you don't eat. There's really no downside for them in hiring you. You're not on their health benefits or anything like that. You're not getting any dental benefits and insurance and things like that. And so all of these things are a lot easier for these companies to manage. Same thing with the restaurant industry. They don't even prioritize healthcare and all these things to essentially benefit you as the consumer. It's like a portion of their entire company is not even insured, right? Like benefits aren't something that's talked about in McDonald's, Popeyes, and all these other locations. So for those in the middle class, they can always get a second job. For those who are in the upper middle class, you probably can't get a second job. Your job probably requires all your time and attention. And when you don't have to work, which is not often, you probably need to sleep. That's why I loved when I was, I'm not going to say I loved when I was single, but I mean, when you're young and you're single, you can go after it. You can go ahead and get it. And every old person or older person always says this, but you know, eventually life happens and you have different responsibilities, a different outlook and different goals and a different mindset. And so, you know, you can only do that but for so long. I'm actually shocked at how quickly that ended for me in terms of the hustle and bustle era of my life. But, you know, it all comes to an end eventually. Mine just happened to be a little quicker than I would have expected. Everything happened quicker for me than I expected, whether it's investing, whether it's, you know, buying real estate, whether it's investing in different opportunities like treasuries and the stock market and 401ks and Roth IRAs. And, you know, finding someone of value that I can actually see myself with as well. Like those things, I didn't even think was a possibility, ended up being my reality. And so, you know, everything takes time in that regard. But then that's another mouth to feed. That's another person to take care of, another person to look after. And that also requires money, resources, and expenses. But let me tell you one thing. I think inflation has affected me in the gas pump, and it has affected me not necessarily with food per se, but definitely when it comes to like red meat and different types of things that I would normally buy, you know. So yeah, inflation has definitely hit in those areas. It's affected my fast food as well. Things used to be literally $9.99 or now like $12.99. Those are not big changes to me, but I really used to like the $9.99 and I don't like all these uneven numbers on my credit card that I have to look after. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble. And I can't wait to see you on the next one.